What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to twitch.tv/Prospect eSports Showdown. We are on week 6, and today we're going to be watching some upper division matches taking place between the number 1 seed in this division, Maelstrom, and the number 4 seed, Borealis.
That's right. And it's always going to be a good one, especially with that top 4 coming in. Borealis, hanging on to that number 4 seed right at the edge of that playoff berth with Calamities right below them. So this is a really big, moment for them, for Borealis, needing a win and in situation to, feel a little bit more safe moving forward, maybe grab 3rd place in the division. But this is just a big match for everyone, as this division is really close at every team in the top 2, 4-1, and then 3-2 right underneath them. This division's wide open for first place right now.
Yeah, they're looking for any edge they can get, especially in terms of that map differential and those victory points. Before we get into these matches, I do want to introduce myself. I'm going to be shoutcasting for y'all. My name is Lord Thief, and I'm joined tonight by is it Mike or Puma tonight?
I think we're gonna make the official switch over to Puma.
The lead? We're taking the lead?
Yeah, you gotta just jump in feet first,
That's right.
You just gotta jump right on in. We're making the switch. I was Michael Hansen, but now I'm gonna be going by Puma Strike from now on, and Puma in the booth. Very excited about that switch. I'll be doing your color casting tonight.
Yeah, and it's definitely. Oh yeah, and be sure to cast your predictions in the chat before we get these games rolling. Want to see what all of our viewers think about the outcome of this series between these two teams, who are definitely going to be quite capable, quite competent in this matchup. Mike, my expectations are. I'm sorry, Puma. My expectations are high for this series. Especially for all of us who play on the competitive ladder. We look at this division is comprised of mostly, you're thinking diamond to low masters, 3,000 to 3,500 SR. And, at least in my solo queue games, I leave some of these games thinking to myself, wow, diamond players are not that good. But here in the team setting, right, it's different. You have people who are equipped with mechanical skill, who have played the game well enough or long enough to really understand its intricate systems, right? And so in the team setting, it's much different from in the solo queue ranked environment. These diamond players, they're something else, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing tonight.
And I don't think that comment about how diamond players play is gonna get a lot of fans out in the chat tonight. But I gotta agree with that one. There's a lot of diamonds that I don't know how they got there, but diamond and especially high plat is just a unseen world of just who knows what's going on over there. But in the team setting, they really start coming alive, and this is where we see that growth come in. As you were saying, there's going to be a lot of potential for these teams to actually be moving up to the extreme division. Maybe next time we see them come around, there's going to be a lot of team chemistry that is coming together now. We're going to be seeing it on display. We're hopefully going to be able to see a lot of these flanks come around. I'm a really big flanking guy myself, and I'm a huge sucker for that. So hopefully we get to see a little bit of that action. And I am just very excited, especially with this first map being Ilios. Ilios has a lot of potential for, just quick momentum grabbing, the momentum of just grabbing the first point and some of these is just, it's just absolutely astronomical. Some of the chokes on this map are just so devastating to try breaking through.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and what a good map to start on as well. As you talk about choke points and building momentum, that's what both of these teams are going to be looking to do going into this series, is getting momentum, especially going into some of these more challenging maps, going into the assault game mode, the hybrid game mode, and hopefully the escort and maybe another control point map. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That being said, it looks like both of our teams are ready, so we are going to get right into the match. Our first map going to Ilios.
Yeah, and once again, I'm just very excited. Both these teams coming in 4-1, 3-2, and right away we're getting my favorite point on Ilios here. This one with the little valley. There's so many different alleys that you can fight in. I personally love fighting underneath the little collapsed temples. I never really knew what to call them, but I just always call them collapsed temples. That's where you can really get a strong hold, and you can even get a second recontest if you do it properly. If you fight them close enough to their spawn, you know, you get a good amount of time to regather yourself and get a recontest onto the point, and you have a lot of different fallback options to rely on.
Absolutely, yeah, and you know these long sight lines as well really benefit some of the heroes who haven't really seen the light of day, especially in the highest echelons of competitive play, but are still immensely popular. A damage boosted Ashe, a Widow, or a Hanzo. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And it looks like we actually might get it with Lost Borealis locking the McCree. Catch is going to be playing him. Kuro and Itachi on the BAP and Lucio, both very popular, very good picks for this meta. Proximity will be on Tracer with Foonfrag and Monkey on the Diva Reinhardt.
Yeah, and I've been just seeing a lot of switches going back and forth. A lot of people not really too sure what they want to go to start off here, and you know, that's kind of the feeling that you're getting. We saw a lot of early switches, but it seems like Kuro and Itachi are going to stay with the BAP Lucio meta. Very strong healing overall between those two. And watch out when BAP gets his new update. That's going to be a very high skill hero there.
Yeah, it's actually already even gone live, as well as that Immortality Field nerf knocking down the minimum health to 10% instead of 20%, and that's going to come in really handy as our first fight breaks out over the ledges here, over the point. We do have a drop here from Lost Borealis as Monkey engages onto the objective. Just swing the hammer, lands a fire strike actually onto Kristen, but no eliminations yielded yet, except for Monkey goes down in the Immortality Field, not preventing his death there, and it looks like Truzoy is going to get caught out of this fight. It could go either way at this point. All of our control point maps are like that. The Diva's duking it out in the corner there. Itachi has to go in there and amp up the heals. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like it's Kaiser who actually comes out. Actually, Foonfrag comes out of the mech there. It's taken out of the mech and ends up going down. And the point will be captured first by Maelstrom.
We just got to point out Straith there, getting, I think, 3 different huge hacks to be able to take down Reinhardt and just start that trickle on downwards. Without Ryan's big shield there, you know, you can't block too much damage, and it was just a free-for-all after that huge hack on Ryan. Straith playing a very heads-up here.
Yeah, and with Sombra becoming a little bit stronger last patch, we can only expect to see her a little bit more. Coalescence does get popped by Michael, pushes forward. The rest of Maelstrom are able to push aggressively onto that, but Truzoy actually does go down, allowing Maelstrom to push in. Secures 3 eliminations. Shatter comes out, gets Kaiser and Michael. Immortality Field comes out just to make sure nobody dies here, and we have the point contest by Donatello, who rapidly goes down as well. That's a quick flip of the objective for Lost Borealis.
And that's what you love to see. And every time you've said Michael, I keep poking my head up a little bit. That's just a force of habit right there. But, moving into this next fight, we have a lot of ultimates to watch on. You know, both teams coming up on 4 and 5 ultimates themselves. It's going to be ult economy here. Who comes out on top in this next team fight is going to dictate the rest of this fight.
Yeah, and that's also going to be partially dependent on how they set up the engagement there. The bomb and the EMP both coming out, but it looks like Itachi's the only one caught out. Although we do have 4 or 5 hacks onto the members of Lost Borealis. So they drop a bomb themselves. Foonfrag not securing any eliminations with that. And it looks like the members, the manpower on the objective for Lost Borealis is actually going to wear thin as Proximity and Catch and both go down. So those 2 eliminations are going to be nailing the coffin for that hold for Lost Borealis.
And even though Kaiser only got 1 with that bomb there, it was really Straith once again getting 5 different people hacked there, and Itachi going down, not able to save anyone with the beat, was able to really just steamroll that one once again.
Yeah, a little bit questionable use of the bomb there, especially in those closed corridors as well. Again, it didn't yield any eliminations, but we still have ultimates to work with coming into this fight, so we're looking for a big bomb, a big high noon, a massive amplification matrix, and we do see those come out, but the Coalescence takes 2! Pops onto Proximity, Kuro and Monkey both being taken out. Foonfrag drops soon afterwards, isn't even able to give him the chance to charge up ultimate for that remech, and that is a quick fight, Puma.
A great timing between Truzo and Michael, just going in there and just dishing out so much damage between the jump and the Coalescence. That combination themselves were able to just wipe away that entire team fight.
Now we have the beat coming out for Lost Borealis, as well as the mirror from Donatello. Death Blossom coming out from Kristen secures Kuro and actually helps to get Foonfrag out of fight. But a massive high noon from Kachin might be able to swing the fight as Monkey takes Kristen out with a fire strike. Foonfrag and Monkey both going down. Itachi is only the one who is able to contest the objective. 99%. The overtime wick is going down, and Borealis yields the first map of Ilios Ruins, going to Maelstrom.
An unbelievable team fight out of both teams there. I really thought Lost was going to be able to capitalize there after the McCree High Noon being able to yield 2 eliminations themselves. It was a great, great effort there. But you gotta hand it to Maelstrom, being able to be that resilient, going down too quickly, and just keep pushing to find their response there. I believe it was a Diva Bomb getting back at Kachin there, evening that up just a little bit more, and then the team chemistry out of Maelstrom able to just work their way in and just finish everyone up one by one.
Yeah, and I think that Lost Borealis is looking to make some corrections here. Go for a little bit more of a durable comp with proximity now on the Mei. We all know how frustrating that can be to play against. Srath and Kristen taking a little bit less conventional approach, it seems, here.
I really do like the Christian pick here, going with Far. Far has always been very strong, especially with only a McCree to really answer this. If you find a quick pick on that, and once again, already Christian able to find it on Kuro.
Yeah, you're talking about a quick pick, and there it is. Kuro going down off the ledge there, booped off by the concussion blast as Kristen secures another one. Now, without Kaiser, Maelstrom might be hard-pressed to actually capture this objective, but with Foonfrag demeched, Lost Borealis is also on the ropes, and with proximity out of the fight, Foonfrag going down, Itachi finally finished off by Kristen. That's going to be a clean take for Maelstrom.
And not only did Christian start that off, they finished it very strong there. One thing to really know going into this next team fight is they already have Barrage ready. This is going to catch them off by surprise if they don't really think this through, because you don't really think of Christian being able to get 3 eliminations there all the way up to their ultimate before this next team fight.
Yeah, it's all going to hinge on the use of the Immortality Field from Kuro, because that is the only thing that will be able to mitigate the damage coming out from the speed. Although, again, dropping down to 10% health is going to be tough to mitigate with Itachi having used the amp to connect to the objective with speed. Now doesn't have the sustain on the objective, but it might not matter. The Barrage comes out and secures 4. Kachin, Kuro, Monkey, Itachi all going down. Kristen is picked out on the 5-5 proximity, but proximity is the only one who's left. Is probably going to get staggered by Maelstrom here.
Yeah, that's just a tough look to have there. I saw Christian going up top, and that's one of those things that you have to be aware of going into that that little room right above you in the lighthouse. Is you got to be aware of that drop down, and with the damage boost, you just need to have that ready to go no matter what, especially with a McCree. You just got to flashbang that out as soon as possible. But great play there out of Christian and Michael, able to just clean that one up themselves.
Yeah, and you could briefly there see the fire around Kristen's border player portrait there. Absolutely, they're on fire. And the Amp Matrix comes out, but so does the Shatter from Maelstrom. Kaiser swinging the hammer onto the dropped forces of Lost Borealis. Monkey finally taken out of the fight by the damage booster rockets that are being pelted onto Lost Borealis from Maelstrom. And it looks like that's another 1-5 for them. 85% to the objective. Puma, is there an opportunity here for Borealis to touch?
I mean, if they get the pick on proximity, I don't really think so. I don't think they have any characters fast enough. Even with Lucio speed boosting here, it just won't be enough.
Now Kachin getting Kristen out of the fight and forcing the revive, an important resource on the side of Maelstrom. Might be nail in the coffin here, the linchpin to success, but as the bomb is dropped, it finds 2. Srath and Kristen both going down. Those are massive picks, but the counter bomb secures Kuro, and Monkey gets pinned as well. A remet kills proximity. That's new as of this patch, and now there is no contest to be had. Maelstrom is going to be able to clean up that fight. It's a team kill, and also the first point in the series going to them.
I may have been wrong about the recontest there at the end, but just well played by Maelstrom, able to just not even really worry about it too much and just be able to keep everything in front of them. Christian with a play of the game, I easily saw this one coming after this barrage here, just working their way around, just the awareness of this, realizing that all of them are right underneath here and just going straight for it. And one thing I want to point out was a little bit of ult uncertainty out of proximity near the end there. Using Blizzard when you're already down 3, not the best way to go about it, and it was just quite unfortunate because Blizzard is one of the more powerful ults. It has so much ability to just keep everyone in a contained space and super vulnerable.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of that as well. It looks like we are going to. Looks like we are going to get a restart from one of our players. We saw that as well from Lost Borealis. Just a little bit of a miscalculation or mistiming of some of those ultimate abilities, and we saw the bomb on Ilios Ruins cast again in that closed environment. No eliminations yielded from that. The blizzard just not quite correctly times there, might not have been the largest contributor to the demise of Lost Borealis, especially in that second round there, but definitely something that helped Maelstrom to emerge victorious in this first map.
Yes, and one thing I have to mention real quick is Tribulation in the chat dropping a 6-month sub. We just gotta say thank you real quick. Unbelievable out of you. Thank you so much. Cheers to you, mate. But getting back to the game, you know, just overall, it was just Christian dominating all around on that last point, and this is going to be something that needs to be addressed. As Christian may just come out with Pharah until it has been, until they need to double hit scan and address it, and even that with the how they've been playing, maybe that may not even be enough just right now.
Yeah, and now as we wait for our players to come back, we'll have the map pick going to Los Borealis. They'll be able to pick of the two maps, two assault maps in the pool right now. That's going to be either Hanamura or Temple of Anubis. Puma, is there any particular map that you'd like to see played by these two teams?
You know, just go when I really think about it, I'm a huge sucker for Hanamura. I really hope it's Hanamura, especially over Temple of Anubis for map number 2. Temple of Anubis, a lot of people they either love it or hate it. I'm kind of on the later of that one. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But I do love Hanamura as, as back and forth as that is. I don't know if it's just the landscape or why, but I think you just have a lot more options on Hanamura, especially being able to get creative at the choke. It's not a hard it's not an hard held choke. There's a couple different places that you can go through with a Symmetra teleport. Even with a Maywall just being able to cut right down through the middle and taking the high ground right on the right. There's a lot more versatility out of each hero there, and you got to be more aware. And so I personally like the Hanamura pick just out of the pure aspect of it's higher skill based in my opinion than just holding someone at a choke.
Yeah, and it's definitely got a couple of really open areas that you can take advantage of some less popular heroes as well. I know that especially in this meta where Rush is really, really strong right now, I can actually afford to play a little bit of my favorite support, Zenyatta. You can also opt for some of these longer range heroes as opposed to these brawl Rush style DPS that we're seeing in the May, the McCree, maybe even a little bit of Reaper. God forbid we watch that tonight. And so absolutely, as opposed to that, Temple of Anubis really favors some of these more unconventional play styles. You can absolutely go for the May and wall up to the high ground for the defenders on point A and just disrupt the high ground entirely. If you go left side and the defenders have a Junkrat, then that's the easiest 40% ultimate charge that Junkrat is going to have for the entire season. Genji, of course, is a very popular pick for Temple of Anubis, and we have all been completely outclassed by a Widow on this particular map, whether it's attack or defense. It's insane. You think that she can't find the angles, and then she does somehow clip your head pixels above cover, and from there the point is just completely steamrolled. We've all had that experience, so I concur with you. Hanamura is definitely more fun to play, but man, I love watching Temple of Anubis played.
You know what? And that's exactly what we're going to be getting. I believe we're going to be going for Temple of Anubis for the second map here, and you're going to be getting exactly your wish. And as I was saying, I hate playing on it, but there has been a lot of great plays in my casting time so far that I've seen out of Temple of Anubis. Now that I really think about it, especially near the end of the point B there, you can really stall that out if you play your cards right there. And just being able to see some people hold, I've seen that map hold on B for the entire 5 minutes, the longest possible time that you can have. And it's just unbelievable what some teams can do. And once again, we see another prime in the chat with Lore. Thank you, Lore. Thank you for dropping a sub. Once again, we appreciate everyone who does that. Just thank you guys so much. But once again, Temple of Anubis, just unbelievable stall potential there. And, maybe we'll be able to see a little bit of that in play tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like that is where we are going. I think that we had Funfrag come out and tell us that Temple of Anubis is going to be our next map pick. So for the time being, I think we're just biding our time, waiting for a reconnection from one of our players, two of our players actually. So be sure, if you haven't already, cast those predictions in the chat. I believe that those have gotten underway. A good opportunity to show off your knowledge about these teams as they progress through the series. If you haven't hit that follow button already and enjoy the content, then be sure to do that, as well as we are on week 6 of this of the Prospect eSports Showdown, and that means that week 7 is going to start our playoff season. You don't want to miss those games. Those are going to be absolutely fun, as each of these teams are going to be going pell-mell into their respective series. Soon after that, we're going to have the grand finals between all these teams and all these different divisions. Not only are you watching really good Overwatch played, but you have a really good opportunity to I mean, at least for me, I learn something every time I watch, even mid-level players play this game. So, really good opportunity to just see what people are capable of, and that's part of the fun of spectating.
Yeah, and one of the things that we have going forward for map number 2 is we actually have a substitution coming in. Snaku is going to be coming in for the tank role here, and I believe we're going to have someone coming in after that. But we're seeing a change out of Maelstrom here after winning that first map kind of decisively. Keeping Lost on their heels, and not going to be let them adjust to what they just saw, which is if you're one of these Overwatch teams, it's a great way to play there, because as you progress through the series, you're going to see a lot more just memorization of what teams like to do. And if you're able to just be able to keep them on their toes going into each match, the predictability factor, it just goes right out the window.
Yeah, and I think that actually might be what Maelstrom has going for them, as they are going to be starting Temple of Anubis on the attack. So, I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to go back to lobby and just fix something real quick. Bear with us here.
But yeah, as you said, they immediately chose attack. They want to set the pace here. And with Snaku on tank, we don't really know what to expect. They ran a little bit of dive last time with D.Va Winston, but bringing Snaku, I would expect that they're probably going to move more towards a rush or brawl if they're taking away their Winston. So if I had to take a stab in the dark, I would guess that Snaku is either going to be going Rhine or Orisa here, and Kaser is going to be grabbing the other, or maybe even a Zarya, seeing a nice combo out of those two, because they just pulled off of their what seems to be a dive.
Initiating match.
Yeah, and this is a pretty popular map for D.Va as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of her, especially with that remeching buff that she got last patch. My body count right now for that is I think it's 3 now since the patch dropped and I started playing D.Va. Man, it's crazy. People, you can just stand on someone, remech, and just get awarded with 1 or 2 free eliminations, actually, is what they are. Adding a little bit to the fun factor that D.Va has to offer in her kit. Looks like we will at least get the Orisa from both sides, actually. Kaiser and Snake for Maelstrom will be on the Rhine Orisa. The Ned is going to be playing Junkrat. Kristen on the McCree, so not taking to the skies, but definitely going to be watching them. Donatello on the Brigitte and Michael on Ana.
And one thing I want to note, just in case for anyone in chat who doesn't know, D.Va recently got a change to her mech that increased her damage for remech from 50 damage to 250 damage, which seems a lot more reasonable for a mech falling out of the sky. And, I'm surprised that wasn't the original case, but, it makes for a lot of great plays. I've seen some Zarya D.Va plays that have just been absolutely funny to watch, but moving into this, it seems like we're going to have 2 rush teams.
Yeah. Orisa being actually a pretty good pick, a good fit for the rush style composition. And actually, maybe not for this push. Kuro and Monkey both going down. Donatello does fall to Itachi, but now we have the forces of Maelstrom pushing the stairs and looking to secure those additional eliminations. 3 stuns there from Kachin, but it doesn't yield any eliminations, and the forces of Maelstrom will be able to stabilize on this defense while they wait for Donatello to regroup.
LB just had a great defensive hold right there. This is exactly what you're looking for after what happened last map. You know, on that second objective, you didn't really get too much going, and with Snaku stepping in, you didn't know what you're going to expect. But getting that absolute hold there, taking a minute off the clock right there, absolutely unreal play.
And the net actually opens up this next fight with 2 eliminations. The concussion mines coming out and securing both of the supports. He does fall in the process, the Junkrat going down, but with Foonfrag and Kachin out of the fight, that's the damage mitigation. Of course, from the supports as well, they are all out. So this is going to be a quick reset for Lost Borealis. They are going to have to scrape up something together. Still 2:44 in the time bank remaining for them.
And once we're already seeing a switch off of Orisa here to Foonfrag, from Foonfrag, going over to D.Va, and this is going to be interesting to watch as there's 230 to build up on that ultimate.
Proximity looking for those angles as the tire comes out from the net. It secures 3. Monkey, Kuro, and Kachin all going down. That's going to be a D-Mac onto Foonfrag as well from a whip shot from Donatello, and that is going to be it for this fight. We're going to have a kind of a reset from Proximity. Going to get out of there real quick, and some swaps as well coming out as Foonfrag gets staggered.
And you know, they played it a little bit more carefully there. They didn't want that mech to come back and squish someone there. And so as soon as they landed a couple of shots, they immediately put that down, which is going to be another great factor for D.Va moving forward, is that she can't be staggered too badly anymore.
Yeah, that's actually it's a massive buff not only to her threat potential, but also to the potential of getting staggered there. No staggers here quite yet, though. Actually, maybe Monkey going down to the Nano, coming on to Kaiser from Michael, and this defense is just going to be simply impregnable here on the high ground as the remaining forces of Borealis try to dive onto the high ground. Proximity gets punished for it by the Kaiser, who still has a little bit of that damage boost on there. It is going to wear off now, and that's going to give Borealis time to get out and reset. Coming up on maybe only 1 or 2 more fights here.
And Monkey diving in as Monkey just got absolutely melted. Even with the Nano, that was impressive to watch there.
The damage increase coming out every fight, it seems. The Nano last fight, and now the Bongo, the Supercharger coming out from Snaka, and that's going to thwart the attackers as they try to get back on this high ground. Kristen uses it to get Kachin out of the fight. That is a quick pick from the DPS player for Maelstrom, and still ultimates coming into this fight for them. They have the Shatter, they have the Tire, and as this fight continues to break out and Borealis tries to find their footing here on their right side, it looks like they're going to get chased here by Maelstrom. The net using the distraction there to eliminate Proximity as the Shatter comes out. Nano onto Monkey is going to prevent lethal instances of damage and possibly increase their damage output, but with Kristen and Kaiser finding those picks onto the supports, there's no sustain here for Borealis. We have the Primal Rage coming out from Monkey, but purpled, anti-nated, and without support is likely going to fall, is actually going to get out quick. 23 seconds, and I think there's time for one more push, Puma.
Yeah, they're going to have time for one more touch, but Ned and Christian, both with their DPS ults, this is going to be something to watch. Where Junkrat is going to set up for this last one, and grabbing the high ground, just going to be able to get the tire off in a lot of different directions here.
Yeah, and that tire is actually going to come out. It's going to linger a little bit there on the high ground. A massive anti-nade being dropped onto the forces of Maelstrom. Michael, the Ned all go down. Ned does find Kuro out with the tire, and now the forces for Borealis are dwindling as the fight breaks out on the objective. High Noon coming out from Kristen secures Proximity out of the fight, and I think that there is nobody left to even touch. That is going to be a first point full hold, as we say in the Overwatch community, for Maelstrom.
Me oh my, what a great hold there out of Maelstrom. And even though Ned did go down when they threw the tire, they got a really incredibly large pick there. I believe it was on Kuro who was on Ana there, and Ana I believe it was just a Tachi there with heals at the end, but taking down Ana as a main healer, I'd take that any day of the week. Going down to DPS for an Ana, that's just, if you're GPS, you just did your job right there, and you just got to rely on the rest of the team to finish up the work around you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Maelstrom was able to accomplish there. That trust in the team, not ill-placed, mind you, as they were able to continue cleaning up that fight. I think that they were even working with a man disadvantage at that point, even as the tire came out. And now for this for their attack phase, what are we looking at from Maelstrom?
Maelstrom here, let's take a nice look and really dive in here as they're going double bubble action here. One of my favorite tank comps to run. I am a huge sucker for double bubble. And then one thing I also want to take a note of is the Echo and Genji as well. This is going to be a very high damage comp and just going to be chasing after Kaiser and wherever, they jump on. And it seems like we may have had another disconnect, and I think someone may have lost their internet, as this has been happening just a little bit and quite unfortunate timing. But yeah, also good timing at the same time, right? Right before, we're not in the middle of a team comp, it's right before a round here. So nothing too bad.
Yeah, really no disadvantage here, as we do get Michael joining back into the game, and it does give us a little bit more time to break down this composition. You're talking about a little bit about how they're on the double bubble composition. Kaiser on the Monkey, Snake on the Zarya. You've got some lethal damage coming out from the Ned and Donatello as well. And let me see if I remember this keybind. Yes, I do. We are going to unpause the match there. I think that Michael is back in, yes, so they'll be able to lock another support hero. We have Kristen on the Genji as well, and that's just, it's depending on Michael. Yeah, we do get the Nano Blade as a potential win condition there. Meanwhile, staying steady on this rush composition, proximity on the Mei is definitely going to be influential in slowing down the incoming attackers, but Puma, they have to full hold 33% of the first objective. That is no easy task on Temple of Anubis.
I've seen some crazy things on Temple of Anubis, so I'm not going to roll it out. But the one thing I got to take a note of is Christian went for that quick pick, but now is already going back to Genji. I thought they were going to stay on Widow a little bit longer. But Kachin already finding a pick and making them use that res early and getting that punish there for Maelstrom. Not going to be able to have that res later on.
Now we do have Monkey going down. The Ned as well is punished for getting that elimination, but right now the eliminations favor Maelstrom as they push the attack. Snake actually does get frozen and goes down as well. Kaiser is contesting the objective, quickly is picked out of the fight by Kuro, and I think we're going to be seeing a reset now from Maelstrom.
And a great first hold. You got that first minute off the clock. You got a little bit of your nerves out of the way there. A lot of great freezes out of proximity. Able to take away both the tanks, and just the damage by both Kuro and Couchin able to finish that up. Just unbelievable synergy we just saw there.
Yeah, we're looking for Foonfrag to get a little bit closer to that Diva Bomb. Is going to be helpful in securing those additional eliminations, and might get a remat kill as well. Kaiser pops the Primal Rage and gets frozen in the process.
Wow.
I'm telling you, proximity on this Mei is going to slow the attackers down, and the defenders are going to be able to push this Monkey, swinging the hammer onto Snake, who is going to drop to back to spawn there. Kristen goes down as well, so now it's only Donatello and the Ned hanging out in the choke.
Proximity with another great freeze, just absolutely deleting Kaiser there. Even with the 1,000 health they had with their ultimate, just gone with one freeze out of Mei. Proximity with a great heads-up play to get rid of that double bubble right away.
Yeah, and as the amplification matrix comes out, the call to rush goes out. We drop the Blizzard and the Shatter. It results in eliminations onto Snake and Donatello, but Puma, I don't know if that's actually worth it. For those 3 eliminations now, we sacrificed how many ultimates on the team? Is that 3?
Yeah, unfortunately you did use 3 there. You could use Mei and Reinhardt, which is... it's very tough because both of them are very well put together, but... Kuro also coming out with their amplification matrix. There's going to be too much here from Christian and Michael, as they just seem to be holding, and Donatello may even pocket them with their ult, as we see this all coming alive right now.
The High Noon coming out from Kachin is going to look to thwart the Nano Blade. Does find it onto Kristen. Kristen goes down. Donatello using the power of the Valkyrie to bring Kristen back into the fight. The revive is spent for the forces of Borealis as the High Noon comes out from the duplicate McCree. The Ned popping that ultimate, not actually finding Foonfrag as Foonfrag tosses the bomb, but the bomb lands onto the high ground behind the defender's point, and they've yielded. The ice wall comes up and it blocks the forces of Borealis from recontesting the objective. They're going to yield 33% of progress, and therefore the match, Maelstrom will be leading this series 2-0.
just very unfortunate. A great round out of, loss there at the beginning half of that, but that one Maywall at the end, I think it pushed up the Diva Bomb just a little bit, and it caught too much air and got caught up on the ledge up top, and that was kind of the downfall at the end there, and that's where you would want to see either a Blizzard or, a Rhine Shatter there, able to bail them out, but both of them had been yielded together on that last fight, and same with Kuro. It was just so much power coming out of Maelstrom there, and just unbelievable synergy, able to push them into that one corner and then just fish in a barrel of them just all the way back down.
Yeah, and sometimes, Puma, I don't know about you, but at least in my experience, you fail that first or second consecutive team fight on that attack round, and from there it's just so easy to get stymied, especially on a challenging map type like the assault map modes, lovingly or loathingly referred to as 2CP in the Overwatch community. So, all that being said, they are Lost Borealis is down 2, but they are not out of the series yet. The series are first to 3, and we'll be looking for them to potentially reverse sweep. Again, they're looking to pad that map differential, maybe get a victory point out of this match. Be sure to not go anywhere. We'll be right back after a break. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us for that short break. Thanks for staying tuned in. Right now, we're in week 6 of the regular season. Here in the upper division, we're watching Maelstrom and Los Borealis play. And Puma, so far, Maelstrom has just been dominating this series. They're leading 2-0 right now. They've had clean engagements, clean defenses, and attacks, massive plays being made by nearly all of their players. What are your expectations as we continue on with this series?
Honestly, I would like to see. Well, I mean, for the sake of content and everything, I would love to see a reverse sweep out of Lost. But for sake of Maelstrom seeding, Maelstrom needs to keep their foot on the gas right now, and they just need to finish this out 3-0. And I believe that should lock them up almost. That should lock them into top 2 guaranteed, but it should be able to get them into a great position for the number 1 seed as well. Of course, we still have to wait on Fort's Revenge to see what they do in their match later on. Check that out after. Um, but also, you know, if you are Maelstrom, you can't let up right now. You cannot let Lost get a breath of fresh air back into this. You got to go all the way in on this one on either Eichenwald or King's Row. I believe the map hasn't been chosen yet, but both maps are great to show out for each one of these teams. There's going to be a lot of different chokes to control, and there's going to be a lot of different high ground, low ground situations that you're going to have to work your way into. It's going to be a lot of different times for people to flash on both sides, and if you have one player step up, it should be right now and right here. You're going to see probably your MVP of the series step up in game number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are watching, be sure to continue casting your predictions for the outcome of each match as we do slowly but surely embark into our map 3. Map actually, it has just come through. King's Row is where we will be going. So a great map for the quintessential barrier tank Reinhardt. We'll probably see quite a bit of rush or brawl style compositions coming out from both of these teams. Although I did like seeing a little bit of the double bubble composition from Maelstrom on the attack for Temple of Anubis. That was a lot of fun to watch as well. So be sure to cast your predictions. Great opportunity to just farm out a little bit extra of those channel points, and also bragging rights for all of your contemporaries as well. Say, hey, I bet on Los Borealis to reverse sweep the series, and when they do, you can you can tell all your haters.
And we're going to be getting in quite shortly as Lost is all calling out Kiro for not being ready, as it seems here, and they wanted a little bit of a comment there. But moving into this next map, going into King's Row, it's just my personal favorite map pick. It's just very good just to see all overall. There's been new places that I've seen people being held, especially last time I casted. I saw. I believe it was with you, Ethan, actually, where they were being held right at their spawn doors after capping the first point, and
I
it was
remember that.
very impressive to see if you're the defense, but very aggravating if you're the attacking team. But
I've kind of repressed those memories a little bit, Puma. Thanks so much for bringing those back to me.
You're welcome. But there's going to be a lot of different opportunities for the defense to step up here. And they do say defense wins championships on King's Row. That is more than true, as there's so many different angles that the defense can hold. And the one thing that we're going to have to watch for is the pick on Widow right away, as both teams have tried going for a quick Widow pick, and with the Sniper Den, we could see a little bit more Widow play, and maybe not just as a quick one shot and switch.
Yeah, if you're anything like me, it's you might have a hard time finding those angles as a Widow player, but you can't really underestimate these DPS players. For both teams, we've seen really great moments from Kristen, Proximity, Kachin, Truzoy. They've all had moments to pop off. So once again, as we embark into King's Row now, this is a great opportunity to see some corrections from Los Borealis, to see some additional maintenance from Maelstrom as they commit to some of these compositions, and yeah, I'm excited. Puma, I want to see more Overwatch play. That's always the win condition for me. So if we see Lost Borealis pad their map differential with a win on this map, then I've won already for the evening. But like you said earlier, Maelstrom is looking to clean sweep 3-0 this series, and we'll see what composition they use to do it.
And one thing I gotta say is if you're looking for more content, especially after game number 2, there is another stream going on. Hammerdown Esports is hosting a 24-hour charity event with Organized Chaos right now, so go check them out after the second match. The charity will be for autism awareness as we support those who have struggled every single day, and we just take it for granted. We want to support self-advocacy and for those wonderful individuals that show strength that we should all be in awe of. The charity they chose directly supports the cause Hammered Down wants to back. Self-advocacy for autistic individuals, so that is why they chose Assault. Absolutely great stuff out of them, those guys. And if you want more content after games number 1 and 2, I highly recommend you check them out.
Yeah, thanks so much, Puma, for highlighting that. We absolutely do. We care about more than just the game in watching or playing it. We care about our communities, and we got to look out for each other. So thanks for sharing that. We do have the Symmetra teleport strat coming out from Maelstrom, but it looks like they only teleported Truzoy out there to the high ground.
A very interesting choice there, but we're gonna see how this one plays out as we see Truzo just able to get a lot of their shots, able to fall a couple body shots, and now they're dropping in with a great wall there.
Yeah, and the teleporter wrapping around to the high ground here is actually allows them to kind of juke Kachin on the Kree, who had wrapped around through Hotel and is now looking for an off angle onto the supports for Maelstrom. Isn't able to find it in time though. Lost Borealis all go down in the process, and Kachin is quickly caught out of that fight. The ice walls from both of the maze there, Truzoy and Proximity, just highly influential in creating the space that was used for that engagement there.
And once again, they put Truzo right on the high ground as they're trying to work their way up to this powerful ultimate of Blizzard, trying to work their way in. And one thing we gotta highlight is even though they capped this first point, Lost is not out of this yet. This entire alleyway has so much potential for just danger around every corner that they can capitalize on as long as they get rid of the sim turrets early.
Yeah, it can be, it's the streets phase, and that's always a treacherous thing as the treacherous walls come up, looking to thwart the progress here of Maelstrom. A massive shatter from Monkey actually gets 2 or 3 on their backs, but the amplification matrix that Michael had cast is too strong. We do have Kachin in the backlines here going on for the flash, but isn't able to yield an elimination there. Ends up going down as well, and the card is able to continue uncontested.
And absolutely great team play out of Maelstrom here, only using amplification matrix. I'm sorry, that is a tongue twister for me for some reason today. To be able to match everything that Lost was able to put out there, and they're going to be winning in this ult economy a little bit here, and they're going to have the advantage going into this next team fight. One thing I wanted to keep an eye on is Kaiser and Truzo getting that combo in again.
Yeah, with the shatter coming out from Kaiser, Kachin actually does use the high noon to catch Donatello out, so no sustain, no beat from Maelstrom as the shatter, as the hammer comes down and the blizzard comes out, the wall separating them off from the blizzard. It looks like the blizzard that gets value, those proximities, they do get a freeze off onto Kaiser, uses that to secure the elimination, and although Kuro does go down, it looks like, this fight could go either way actually. We've got Michael and Kristen battling it out on the objective, but Kristen is the only one remaining now. Donatello is able to reconnect after getting staggered early that fight, and Donatello does have the sound barrier to sustain the team. 3 members now moving the cart to the second point on King's Row. Monkey wanting to push, but having to back off under the pressure of the damage coming out from Snakea and Kristen. They yield the second objective, 5 minutes in the time bank, Puma.
Christian, absolutely unbelievable gameplay right there that we just watched. Able to flip that in their favor in the blink of an eye after we thought that should have been lost there. And they continue pushing this and able to get a great opportunity for this next team fight as a lot of different ultimates are coming down and every ability is coming down to play right now.
Yeah, we got the amplification matrix, the Diva Bomb, we've got the Shatter, the High Noons coming out, but the ones whose ultimate exchange actually ends up favoring them is Lost Borealis. It seems for the first time this map they have been able to stabilize.
And, that's a great sight to see. With 5 minutes in the team, engaging in that team fight, you needed to stall that out some way, somehow. And you need to get a little bit of pressure on this May before, the rest of the team comes around. But it seems like Lost is going to elect to hold themselves and get ready themselves.
shatter there from Monkey to cancel the opportunity that Maelstrom, that Truzo had to freeze them as the Graviton Surge comes out from Foonfrag as well. Immortality Field protecting Monkey in proximity from death there, but the Immortality Field cast by Maelstrom is enough to keep them in the fight as well. Amplification Matrix cast and the wall blocks not one but two ultimates. Proximity popping off with that one ability there as Catchin pops the High Noon, but has to cancel it to dip out of what is potentially lethal damage. Donatello manages to find the boop onto Foonfrag, and Snake now Demect is duking it out in the backlines of oh goodness, of Lost Borealis, and now Donatello off the edge. The sustain gone from Maelstrom as the Blizzard comes out, freezing Monkey in proximity. Both of them go down to Kaiser, who is able to use that opportunity to secure those essential eliminations, but Catchin, it looks like... Oh yeah, Catchin is able to find those picks, and actually they will stabilize once again. Lost Borealis, 3 minutes in the time bank, just barely managing to hold on there.
Wow, and a great ultimate by Proximity, able to stall that out with 3 people on the cart marching their way down with 4 meters left there. Proximity able to freeze them all off, and started with Michael not going to be able to get any of their healing off, and it was just isolation and damage separation there.
Yeah, and a really good Blizzard from Proximity. I feel like I got a little confused, so I wasn't able to shoutcast that, but absolutely massive Blizzard, and a massive Shatter as well off the Amplification Matrix. Catchin and Foofrat are able to find Chris and Kaiser out of the fight. That is the quickest team fight I think that we've seen Borealis use to clean up Maelstrom as they attempt to retake control over the objective.
And this is what you needed if you were lost here, because, you know, Lost as a team seemed a little bit lost after those first 2 objective points there, and now they seem to finally be clicking and firing in all cylinders, winning 2 team fights in a row, bringing that time bank down to 220, engaging in this next team fight. This one is where you need to win this ult economy, as both teams are low on their ultimates here.
We do have Catchin using the High Noon, the speed boost provided by Itachi. He's going to help him round the corner there around the wall. Donatello actually goes off the map again, and the bomb is deployed by Snake. Doesn't find anything but an Immortality Field, but it does direct the attention of Lost Borealis. The Shatter comes out and knocks them on their backs. Kristen is able to use that to find not 1, 2, 3 picks as Snake secures the final blow on Takuro with the boosters. Now Proximity is the only one remaining, but critically low on the mini pack. Cast the Blizzard. It actually gets canceled as Proximity is taken out by the micro missiles from Snake. Graviton Surge launched onto the objectives. The Immortality Field comes out and helps to mitigate the damage from the High Noon and the window coming out from Maelstrom. Catchin's looking to touch the objective, ends up getting picked out of the fight by a crit shot from Kristen, and that is it. No contest there remaining for Lost Borealis as they yield the 3rd point to Maelstrom.
Even though that you did lose the point there, you got to give them a round of applause for taking that time bank all the way down from 5 minutes to 143. A very impressive, or 132 I should say, a very impressive feat, especially going into that needing any momentum that you had. You had just been rolled for 2 points in a row, and being able to hold that for nearly 4 minutes and getting this into a reasonable time bank to work with, if you are able to draw this out, you know, very well played. Of course, you would like to see the full hold, but 132 will be just as much.
And we will get a pause as we have Foonfrag needing to restart here. This is good. Gives us an opportunity to talk about the series as it has gone on so far. The match isn't over, or the map isn't over quite yet. The series isn't either. So if you haven't already made those predictions, be sure to do that while we have the opportunity. You know, there's been some really good team fights this game, Puma. Really good use of ultimates that I think we've seen corrections on from Lost Borealis. I'm just seeing so much more value being attained here. Snake on the Diva remains just a persistent threat. We saw that particularly in that last fight. We saw the Diva bomb being cast in that second to last team fight there before the objective was captured. You know, we saw that divert the attention of the members of Lost Borealis, and they ended up having to they ended up getting shattered with that. And so you know, we still have a few people to look out for here on the side of Maelstrom if we're playing for Lost Borealis, but overall I feel like they're doing pretty well this map.
Yeah, and one thing I do got to point out, as you touched upon a little bit there yourself, was the Diva Shatter there. Even though it didn't yield any eliminations themselves, it forced out their lamp early on, and it had 5 people on the ground, and they were just able to capitalize there as Christian just went off and getting 3 of those picks right away as they were shattered and just getting themselves back up and able to swing that in their direction and able to finally wrap that up after being held there for almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, and Puma, at least in your experience, because I know you do a little bit of coaching as well, and of course, plenty of casting and analysis. We consider things like cooldowns, damage shields, the damage mitigation. How many rounds you've got in your Baptiste or Ana magazines there. We consider all of those essential resources, right? But we actually don't pay enough attention, I think, as players and spectators. We don't pay enough attention to the resource that is actually each player's individual attention, right? When you have your attention that is captivated by an ultimate, a massive nuke whizzing past your head, right? You're not going to be able to thwart the shatter that is incoming from this highly coordinated Maelstrom squad, right? So
Yeah.
I think especially in terms of resource management, again, we've seen improvements from Boss Borealis over the course of this short series. We've seen ultimate improvements. We've seen cooldown usage improvements. I'm loving the lamps that we're seeing from Kuro right now for as much or little as they're able to mitigate in its heavily nerfed state, although it needs to be continuously nerfed. I hate that immortality field, but I love the ones that Kuro is deploying, right? And I just think that there's just still a little bit more cleanup that we can see from Lost Borealis, and perhaps one of those resources that we can see refinement in is that attention span.
And one thing I do got to point out too is even though that we were talking about the resource management, one thing that Lost Borealis can take away here is their support. Their support management there has been unreal. That lamp yielding 5 saves on 1 use is just unreal management to use. And even though that did go down early in that fight, it did keep them alive for the most part, as Diva Bomb would have cleaned that all up after that shatter. And the supports have been doing a great job managing their ultimates and their abilities overall. It's one thing that I do want to note, as Lost Borealis has just been absolutely unreal with today.
Yeah, and again, hopefully those corrections that we've called that they need to make, that we've seen them making, hopefully those end up playing out in their favor. Again, Lost Borealis is not any worse for wear in this particular division, right? I think they're only behind by 1 victory point behind Maelstrom, which is the #1 seed, of course. Lost Borealis is sitting comfortable at #4 seed, and like I said, even if they don't secure that additional victory point, they're looking to continue padding their map differential here. So you don't want to drop a map like Kings Row to Maelstrom. You want to emerge victorious in this matchup, and as the gates are going to open here shortly, we're going to see them put in a monumentous effort, I'm sure.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is Defense Doom, a very fun way to play it if you play this correctly. If Christian's able to get themselves out of and be able to disengage in fights, this is going to be very deadly as they just immediately go in and find Kuro right away and able to find the escape route.
There's not much to say there as far as play-by-play casting. 2 abilities from Doomfist yields 2 eliminations. Itachi and Kuro both going down so quickly is going to be our first fight. Kaiser really using those abilities that Space created, as us tank players like to call out, to secure 70% to the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, one thing that, I gotta say real quick is just Jinkies. Christian has just been going in as they're just going in, and Shatter already finding 2 eliminations with that as Kaiser finds a 3rd one, just trying to clean up everything now, and Doomfist going to work on the back end, but Truzo wants the piece of the action, finding the headshot and taking that away, but Christian getting the last one in that team wipe. An unbelievable just team chemistry play right there.
I mean, both of these fights have been so fast, Puma. There's there's really not much to cast here, as it's a mere use of 2 or 3 abilities.
Yeah, as you see, we're only 1:20 into this fight, or into this round, and there's already been 2 team fights absolutely wiped, and just great team play out of Maelstrom as they go for a 3rd one.
Yeah, the amplification matrix deployed by Michael isn't going to quite yield any eliminations, and Catchin finding 2 onto Kaiser and Kristen is actually going to be the opening call to engage onto the objectives. The High Noon's deployed behind them. The shield and the ice block actually help to protect some of the members of Lost Borealis, but proximity does go down to a critical final blow there. Foonfrag and Itachi on the grab there are subject to the seismic slam from Kristen coming back from spawn.
A great hold there out of the combo of Snake and Christian. Unbelievable work there to be able to hold that after I thought, you know, after those first 2 picks, that should have been a team wipe for them. But with a minute 40, here they go. They have to make their play here with only Mael in the bank, but they have 3 others coming up right now.
They're gonna need that beat for the Shatter. Kaiser is looking for that opportunity to use it, and as the members of Lost Borealis huddle around the statue, they are gonna get the block on the Shatter. The Blizzard comes out in the Shatter to keep the members of Maelstrom from leaving that radius there, the freezing field. Monkey is able to use that to secure eliminations onto Truzoi and Snake, and I think, Puma, I think that that's gonna be the first point capture for Lost Borealis.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too soon before Christian comes and finds a way to save the point once again. But it does seem like it's going to be with a minute on the clock. That's exactly what you wanted, getting that 2.5 minute time bank, getting you up to 340 here. And, you know, you didn't have to use, you used a lot of ultimates there, but it was worth it in the end because you need to break through some way, somehow.
Oh no, Puma! What we're seeing here is is a little bit of a of deja vu as Kuro goes down first, catching, and then the rest of the lineup for Lost Borealis is picked out of that fight, all opened up by Christian, who now has the meteor strike.
Uh-oh, and they're setting up in the same spot that we saw this whole time.
Oh no, Puma! We've seen this before.
We've seen this before, and here they come right away. This could spell disaster if they don't break through fast.
The lamp deployed a little bit too early. Doesn't actually need to be used against the meteor strike. The implication matrix deployed by Kuro is actually used to secure Kaiser and Michael, Christian and Truzoi both go down as well. Snake is soon to follow, and now Donatello out of the fight. The cart can finally begin progressing down the streets phase of King's Row.
And one thing I gotta say really quickly before we really talk about what just happened was the fight before there. It seemed like Maelstrom had overcommitted in ultimates and lost in the ult economy battle. And Lost just absolutely just took advantage of that, and they didn't use as many as themselves, being able to just use just enough to be able to capitalize. And they're still leading in this ult economy going into this next team fight and breaking their way through the streets.
That's exactly right, and we're looking for a smart use of those ultimates as the cart begins to round that second to last corner. The high noon coming out from Truzoi, speed boosted into a window, securing 2. Food Dragon proximity going out is not the kind of point presence that you want to lose, and now the charge onto, I think it was Kaiser there, not being enough to eliminate him from the fight. Monkey is going to have to back out, sped out by Itachi, who won't actually even be able to protect their main tank from that engagement. Looks like we're going to have a hard reset here for Lost Borealis.
And one thing I want to keep a note of is I want to see where Maelstrom wants to set up here, as they do have a couple of ultimates here. They have both tank ultimates, but Proximity is going to be able to counter both of them with a well-placed ultimate. If they just hold right at this choke, watch for a quick Proximity ult here.
Of the shadow coming out from Monkey, connects to a shield, so no stuns off of that as the Blizzard is cast by Proximity. It's going to find Kaiser and Michael. The Immortality Field deployed by Michael is going to help to protect Kaiser for a little bit, but he ends up going down to the high noon from Catchin. Grabbed on Surge catches Snake, who is eliminated by Foonfrag, but there's still Kristen and Truzoi to contest on the objective. Foonfrag is the only one remaining for Lost Borealis. Itachi looks to contest the objective, but it's too late. Itachi, get out of there. He's going to get punched, and Seismic Slam!
Oh no! I like the aggression out of Itachi there, able to get the first one, but Doom just had a little too much health after getting the health off of, you know, all of those abilities landing. You gotta know how many have been connected, and you gotta see how many eliminations that Christian just yielded there. You have to know how much health he has before engaging on a Doomfist.
As a support player myself, I see Doomfist connect one ability, and I'm like, all right, that is too much HP for me to deal with, and we'll see how much HP, shield HP, Christian gets with that Meteor Strike. He actually ends up falling in the process. The window deployed is able to be used by Catchin to secure 2 final blows onto Christian and Kaiser. Now down the main DPS and main tank for the Maelstrom squad. They're going to have to deploy Window of their own in an effort to stabilize, but they might not be able to do it. Catchin getting Truzoi out of the fight. Foonfrag following up with an elimination onto Donatello, and the wall comes up, which blocks Snake from being able to reconnect to the rest of the team coming out from spawn. 4 seconds remaining in the time bank, and now I think that the cart will finally be able to advance to the third corner. But now, what is the win condition, Puma, for Lost Borealis?
Oh, they need to get this one in quickly. They need to finish with at least a second on the clock so they have a chance at overtime to be able to take this, because I believe it's just even if it goes up to 2 minutes, they won't have too much time, as they will have a minute and a half advantage for Maelstrom's side, and they need to move quickly here.
They might be able to do it off the back of a high noon elimination onto Trusoy from Kachin. Now without the mirror matchup, Kachin will be free to do a little bit more damage onto Snake, prompting the B from Donatello. Amplification Matrix is able to keep some of the members of Lost Borealis up in the face of a Shattered Blizzard cast onto the forces of Maelstrom as the high noon is deployed by Truso. Finds two, Foonfrag and Monkey both going down. Once again, not the kind of point presence that you want to lose with 45 seconds on the clock. This is going to send Lost Borealis reeling back to spawn, hopefully to regroup.
Yeah, and a smart call there, as they don't want to engage in a 4-on-4, because if you lose someone there, then you're trickled down for your last team fight. A great regroup here, and you got to get Michael off of this high ground here, and it seems like Lucio's going to go be right for it.
Tachi getting the job done there. If nobody else will do it, then I'll do it myself, as Kristen takes up that same mentality on the Doomfist and ends up using his abilities to get Tachi out of the fight. Foonfrag does get a massive Graviton Surge, but there's no follow-up. 4 members grabbed, and there's no eliminations from Lost Borealis onto Maelstrom. Lost Borealis will be on the ropes here for this last contest. Might not even be a last contest with 2 seconds in the top and the bank. Tachi is able to touch, but might not be able to stay on it long. Kristen turns around in the Amplification Matrix and the thwart the rest of Lost Borealis from connecting the objective. The boot from Donatello is defeated a Tachi on the objective, and that's gonna be it.
No! What a phenomenal play to get rid of a beat, and you know, if they have too much health, why not just throw them off a cliff, you know? They can't survive that. So, a very well heads up play to aim that right at the hole. I completely forgot about that hole being there until I was like, where did Itachi just go? And then I just saw them fall right down. Great heads up play and a great team play out of Maelstrom after, you know, yielding that second point, not giving up and being able to regroup really quickly and be able to push them right back.
That's exactly right, and we got to see there a little bit of what it is like to be Kristen on the McCree there. Although I would have loved to see some Doomfist play the game there as well. Well played to Lost Borealis. Ultimately, they will not be walking out of this with a victory point or a better map differential. Unfortunately, very well played to Maelstrom. You know, before we embark into a discussion regarding just how well the Maelstrom squad performed, I think, do we have time to cast our votes for most valuable player for the series? I think that we do. So be sure to, yeah, there's our new poll going up. MVP for Maelstrom. Be sure to cast those votes for the ones that you want to see nominated for that MVP role. We'll get a brief interview with them. I think that's probably all the time that we're going to have for that. I think that our picks in the casting booth, Puma, was that Kaiser, Christian, and was it Donatello or?
And it was Michael. Okay. My personal pick was Christian. They had a lot of great plays, especially early on. We saw on Ilios them just reigning supreme, and I'm surprised we didn't see some more far gameplay. It was a very, very just insane gameplay that we were watching. Great awareness out of them too. But, you know, they got it done everywhere else. As they were losing the fight, they came in multiple times able to save it. So that is my personal bias pick, because that was my one from the intermission that no one else could hear. But what about yourself? Who do you think deserves this?
You know, it's absolutely always so much fun to see the big flashy plays coming out from our DPS players, who all played really well this series. Christian is no exception from that. I loved particularly seeing the versatility on the DPS role. We got to see the Pharah, we got to see the Kree, we got to see the Doomfist, lots of heroes being played. But you know, as a support main myself, I flex onto the tank role. I'm always going to opt to want to see some of these other players highlighted. I want to see the big plays that were set up by Kaiser, the blocks, the shatters, the stuns, the dives. You know, I want to see those really highlighted from a very competent main tank here. I want to see Michael nominated MVP for you know, their amplification matrix cast, their immortality field deaths prevented. You know, but ultimately, you know, honestly, I mean, Christian popped off tonight. They were absolutely insane on the DPS role, and you know, for that, I think that I would be forced to overlook how well some of these other team members played.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many times that it seemed like Maelstrom was just too far out of the team fight to really come back, and Christian just came around the corner and was just like, "Don't worry, guys, I got it," and just took care of it really quickly, especially near the end on King's Row, and even at the beginning of King's Row, starting off the defense with 2 picks right away, and then holding the point with another 2 picks off of a great grab, I believe, at a Kaiser there. I do want to highlight that was phenomenal grab to hold them there for Christian to be able to follow up and be able to get those elims, but Christian just Johnny on the spot, being able to get the teams out of pinches multiple times. It was unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, and I think that we might have had a few more seconds there. I think I actually just ended the MVP for Lost Borealis, who definitely cannot go unrecognized in this series. Definitely dropping all 3 maps in the series to Maelstrom. Again, not really ideal for Lost Borealis, but that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that they did not play very well. We saw some excellent support gameplay, some really good some really good engagements from the tanks, and also some big plays coming out from Catchin on the DPS. I really enjoyed watching all that, and I think that our MVP is Christian, right?
I believe so, and I believe we do have some time to ask them some questions. If we can bring Christian right on in here. And first of all, I just have to say, congratulations to you guys. Absolutely unreal stuff today. And I just got to ask, how do you feel after that game?
I feel pretty good. We were really upset that we lost map 6 actually against the other team. I forgot their name. So winning this match 3-0 was very nice for us.
Yeah, you're thinking of the series against Ford's Revenge. That's
Yeah,
right,
them.
week 4. Yeah, certainly a tough one, I bet. But this one appeared to be to be maybe a little bit more straightforward of an endeavor for you guys. And my question is, we got to see a lot of versatility from you on the DPS roster. Which of these heroes would you say you were most comfortable playing tonight?
Um, I I I really love playing Doom on King's Row, so it would
Okay.
probably be Doomfist.
And,
Okay.
I do gotta highlight. It did seem you were pretty comfortable there with a great attack right away, getting those first 2 picks. I do have to ask though, what was going through your mind when you're able to help flip the point back? I believe with your teammate. I'm blanking on their name. Don't hurt me. Don't be upset at me for this. I believe it's Kaiser with the great grab. And just those different momentum type of plays going on throughout your entire series. A lot of great work between it's just between your team, especially you and either your support or following up with a tank ultimate. And what's the communication like during that?
It's actually pretty straightforward. We either tell each other if it's winnable or if it's not. Like how we committed grab at the end there, and then I came and cleaned up the kills. And most of the time we just always see it as winnable, even if we're down like 1 or 2. We always just try to bring back the point, especially if we have ults to retake it with.
Yeah, that's that sounds exactly what it looks like in some of these fights that you guys were able to really swing off the back of what seemed like absolutely no resources that you guys had to work with. Definitely made for a fantastic spectacle. So Puma, unless you have any other questions, I think I've gotten my fill of insight from Christian into this spectacular match.
All I gotta say is, do you have any words for everyone out there tonight?
I do actually. Shout out to my teammates. One of the reasons why I actually enjoy playing Doom the most is because of my teammates being able to like easily peel for me. Like I get bubbled, healed like instantly. So it's really nice. Shout out to Donatello, my support player. He fell off the map twice. Um, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thank you again for taking the time to come in here today. And, that's a pretty good shout out for Donatello there. Not in the best of light, but at least it's a shout out.
We'll take what we can get. Thanks so much for popping in, Christian. GG's to you. Very well played by you and your team. We're looking forward to big things from you guys in playoffs and hopefully in the grand finals as well.
Thank you.
And I think that, it looks like we've got just barely enough time to do an interview with our MSP, our most shittiest player, as I would lovingly refer to them as the most subpar player, the ones who perform maybe the least optimally, and that would be going to Donatello actually. So let's see if we can get Donatello in here for a couple of questions.
Sorry, I just love the title. I'm not gonna lie. I always forget the name of it until someone says it. It's just amazing. Hey, Donatello, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. We just gotta bring you in here and just give you a nice shout out. And
Awesome.
first question I gotta say is, how are you feeling after that win?
Pretty good. It was my first time I've ever had a game casted, so like I'm going back and watching it actually right now, and it was thrilling. It was a lot of fun. I'm pumped. I fell off the map twice. That was a bug.
We always blame it on the bugs, and you think that it was thrilling and fun to play. I'm gonna have to bump you up there and say it was even more exciting to watch and spectate, much less cast and commentate there. And yeah, that was gonna be my question for you: is how do you justify not one but two environmental eliminations on yourself?
Okay, one I was probably dead anyway because there was a dead eye and I was Maywalled, so that one. Give myself a pass, but the other one, I went and got the boop on Zarya, so it was a 1v1 trade. Okay, so
So we call worth in the match chat, I think, when things like that happen in our solo queue ranked games. And man, I'd be chagrined if I didn't ask you about that final boop onto oh goodness, it was not Kiro, it was
Lucio.
Itachi.
Hitachi, yes, who was actually had sound barriered on the objective and was going to be sustained on it if you hadn't thwarted that.
Yeah, that was kind of lucky. Because I just rushed their spawn and we killed the BAP and like the McCree, and I rushed back and I didn't actually know where the Lucio was. It was just a quick flick to where I just project him where he's at, and I was like, where the fuck is he? I can't find him, and then all of a sudden I get the kill. I'm like, oh, sick.
Sometimes that's just the way that Overwatch works. You just don't really know what's going on, and it just works out in your favor. Throwing a nice push off right there, and it worked out directly in your favor. Especially getting rid of a target that has 800 health at it. It's just hard to get rid of, and then you just single-handedly did that all by yourself.
Yeah, it was definitely really impressive.
It's another day at the workshop.
And ever humble, the support player Donatello, nominated most shittiest player. A little unfortunate because all of you played just exceptionally well. In fact, you were even called out by Christian, who just said you did such a great job setting up plays for them. And that's going to be it for me as far as questions go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the quick shout out, and I'm gonna need to talk to these guys. He said shitty players. Give him
Absolutely.
1v1 Lucio.
Yeah, you go talk to them, Donatello. Thanks so much for popping into the casting booth and helping us get some insight from you.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
Have a great night.
We got MVP for Lost Borealis as well. Kuro is just played spectacularly well on the support role this evening. Unfortunately, wasn't able to contribute to a net positive outcome. But Kuro, thanks for coming on. How do you feel about this series?
It's really motivating to win next week, to win every other game. We saw what the actual level was, and now that we have a good scrim schedule, I think this is going to be good motivation for us to do better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. In the face of adversity, we rise because we're gamers, right? I think that's what the kids are saying nowadays. Gamers rise up, and yeah, like I said, just really good support gameplay that we saw from you. Is Baptiste your main hero?
No, I usually play Ana, but I can't right now. It's very sad.
It is a little unfortunate being in Baptiste jail, I think, as we call it. How one press of your E key or your immortality field just nullifies all the potential value you could be getting on Ana, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Bap is the better hero, so I have to play it if I want to win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I
absolutely.
did get rolled by the Doomfist, to be honest. He killed me like 4 times. He just was behind me, and then he insta died.
Yeah, opened up the
Pretty good.
fight. I think it was 2 times in particular that I was able to catch.
Oh, really?
Just, yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there. I think once
Yeah, I
before the
just
first
didn't
check.
hear him, and then it just by the time I get shot, then I just die instantly. But yeah.
Well, when he comes out of nowhere, Mongolia, and punches you into the
Yeah.
stratosphere, yeah, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah,
To see
you
that
don't
everything's
expect
coming.
it, you know. Like, yeah, half your team is already dead, and then you just bow. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least now, you've played against Maelstrom. You kind of know their play style. Like you said, you've got a really steady scrim schedule. So you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling prepared for
Yeah.
the next engagement, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely, we're gonna get on top. We got our shit together this week, so we're kind of getting stronger.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. I'm looking forward to big things. Puma, you got any questions?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it would be a crime if I didn't bring this up, but who was the artist behind your logo? This absolutely beautiful logo.
Oh,
We just get the people want to know.
people want to know the inspiration behind it. All right, fine. Me and the other team owner, Funfrag, we were on this tournament last season, and we were like a very meme team, so we wanted to like bring back that aspect like in our new team. So it's an L, but like it can be represented by other things. But yeah, it's an L and B, which is like our initials. And then the apostrophe makes a smiley face with the B. And then if you look into the L, there's a lot of pocos because our team used to spam poco in chat to make people mad. So you can see like a bunch of pocos. So yeah, that's the inspiration in this piece of art. It's pretty funny because every team has like very pretty art, very like design, and us is just like fucking banter. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
You know, I completely agree with that. We have one player on one of my teams. His name's Riley. He was part of the RLCS team, James's sit-ups, where they used a photo of someone taking a sit-up. So I completely understand wanting to express some creative output, especially in the game you're playing. It's just another way to have fun, and just it took me a little off guard when when the scorecard popped up for the first time. I may have had to regather myself a little bit, but it's beautiful to say the
goal
least.
of it.
It's a good looking owl.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Well, no,
like 2 minutes.
Well, no, thank you, Kuro, for popping in and yielding a little bit of insight into what it was like to be Lost Borealis tonight. Completely unfazed by the loss tonight, instead looking towards the future, and that's what I'm doing as well. Looking forward to seeing you guys outperform your opponents in the playoffs, and hopefully as well in the grand finals. Thanks so much, Kuro.
Yeah. Ciao. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Good luck. Thank you.
Puma, what a great series that we got to watch tonight, and for all those who are tuned in, thanks so much for watching with us here for the broadcast. I've been Lord Thiethan, joined by Puma Strike, and again, if you enjoyed the content, hit that follow button, and don't go anywhere. We're going to be live again very, very soon. We're going to be broadcasting the match. Let me check the schedule. We're going to be broadcasting a match in the Extreme Division between We Say GG Go Next and Apollo Paradox. That's actually going to be play-by-play is going to be Athena, and I will actually be color casting. So a little bit of a long shift for me tonight, but a thrilling one to be sure. The Extreme Division is comprised of some of the players on the highest echelons of the competitive ladder. I think that's a low masters to actually. I think that's actually up to 4K. So we're going to be watching some really exciting Overwatch tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully you enjoy this next game as much as I enjoyed tonight, you know? Ethan, good luck, having another one. I'm going to be back on Saturday, actually. I mean, my bad. I'm going to be back on Sunday. I don't know why I said Saturday. I have the thing right in front of me, and I even managed to say the wrong day. I'm going to be joined by Laurel next time first with Slipstream and PNR, so I'm going to be having fun over there. And, tonight was just so much fun, and I hope this action keeps rolling for you, Ethan. This was just jam-packed with just highly impactful plays and just incredible synergy, and I can only imagine what's going to go on in the Extreme Division.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And, the reason that you bring up Saturday is actually because we do have games on Saturday as well. And that's going to be 5 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. MST, 7 p.m. CST, or 8 p.m. EST. It's going to be taking place between Ford's Revenge and The Bench. Play-by-play is going to be brought to you by Newbeat, and Ageless will be color casting. So, and that's going to be for our upper division as well. So games very similar in play to the one this evening that was casted by myself and Puma Strike. Again, very exciting Overwatch. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what the Extreme Division holds in this next game, coming to you live here in just a little bit. So again, don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Lord Ethan, joined by Puma Strike, and you guys have a great rest of the evening.
Have a great night.